to put your name, your pronouns, where you from, where you representing in the chat so that we can start to build community together with you. Shout out Pittsburgh in the house. Feel free to also update your name also with your pronouns if you prefer to do so. You can also please share with us your title and your role. So I'm gonna run that back. We want your name, your pronouns, your title, your role, your location. We want to get to know you all and build community in this space this morning. Good morning. Hey, shout out Dominique, what's up? I just talked to you last week. Or was it this week? The time is all getting blurred. Thank you for being here. DC in the house, represent. Northeast DC to be specific, okay. We here. Shaw represent. We got the babies representing for the early childhood educators. Northwest in the house. We're supporting our students that are coming from diverse language backgrounds, rich language backgrounds, multilingual students. Shout out. Yes, we got some faculty members here representing Washington, PG in the house, Hyattsville, Montgomery County in the house. Everybody here, yes, Maryland, DMV, PA, New York, Massachusetts. Look at how so across the country, so many of us coming together. Upstate, oh, that's my boy. Shout out Dr. Seeger, teacher educators in the house. Capitol Hill, we are so grateful that y'all are sharing this space with us this morning. Northern Virginia, Alexandria, I love the diversity too. Just take a look, scroll up, 757 Williamsburg, what's up? Look at the diversity in here. We have all types of educators at so many different levels that are joining us this morning and joining us with purpose and intention. We have DEI professionals, shout out, thank you. Maryland School of the Deaf. We appreciate you being here at our virtual curriculum fair. As you come in, we're going to take about another minute. We want to make sure we get all of this. We want a chance for you all to share this space and community. Arlington represent APS, shout out. DCPS, no doubt. We got the DMV covered and all of the Virginia covered, all of the Maryland covered. Shout out our charter schools, Alexandria again. Thank you again so much. We want to welcome you to this event today, the Black Lives Matter at School. We are so excited to build this community with each and every one of you. We are grateful and we are thankful that you are sharing where you are from in the chat. And we continue to do that throughout this morning. And as you go into your sessions, we ask that you continue to build that community and see each other there. So we wanted to talk just a little quickly and give you a brief overview of our agenda for today and what we will be doing in our time together. So we're going to have our opening remarks. You'll hear from Dr. Norris from Howard University in a bit. We'll have our session 1 workshops. We'll have our session 2 workshops, and then we will wrap up with our closing. But we definitely want to make sure we shout out our ASL interpreters that are here with us today and supporting our sessions. So Derek Canyon, shout out to you, and Suzanne Lightbourne. Thank you so much for being here so that you can support all those that will need ASL interpretation. So make sure we show them some love. Thank you for being here. And they're here to support each session as well. No doubt, we're definitely about that accessibility. So we wanted to talk a bit about, I am a board member of Teaching for Change. I became connected with Teaching for Change as a teacher over 10 years ago. And really what our organization is about is we are here to help students uncover the truth. We are about truth telling, radical truth telling, right? And so that they know that they can be active citizens, that they can be down with the resistance, that they can make a change. And they're not just students, but also parents, caregivers, communities, schools. We are here about the truth, doing that critical work. And so we wanted to highlight a little bit about some of what we do and some of the programs that we offer. So we're all about building this social justice in the classroom. We are here as a result of DC area educators for social justice, educators in this area organizing together to make sure that we have these types of programming. But we also have some other programs at Teaching for Change. Teach Central America, Teach the Beat, Go-Go in Schools, Civil Rights Teaching, Social Justice Books, and our partnership with Rethinking Schools with the Zen Education Project. These are all part of the myriad of programs that we have that we hope that you utilize and continue to support. You may also know about our work with social justice books, where we also highlight some very key resources for different age levels for students. It's a fabulous resource. I use it all the time. Whenever I want to know what new book is coming out, I go to social justice books that I know have been vetted by educators. And we do have a Black Lives Matter at School set of resources that you can utilize. With our work with the Zen Education Project, we are about teaching people's history. Over 140,000 teachers across the US have signed up to be down with teaching people's history. So when we see all these laws and these bans and these things come out, what we know to be true is that there are a lot of us out there. We are in community and solidarity with each other, and that numbers continue to grow each day. And so we are honored to be a part of providing teaching materials and resources to support this work. So I am going to toss it over to Dr. Katherine Norris, a department chair of curriculum and instruction at Howard University School of Education. And she is going to carry us on home with this welcome. And we thank you for this partnership. We are so glad you're here. Continue to drop your information in the chat, and let's get excited to learn about more resources we can use for Black Lives Matter at school.
Good morning and welcome. I'm so excited to be here this morning. My name is Dr. Katherine Norris, and I am Department Chair of Curriculum and Instruction at Howard University. I welcome you here today. You could have been anywhere else on a Saturday morning, more specifically in your bed sleep, but you are here for Black Lives Matter and you are here for the cause. I want to first quickly take a moment to acknowledge and to recognize that the last few years have been very challenging for many of us, especially for those of us who are Black and Brown, and for those of us who are fighting the cause of social justice in education, and specifically for those of us in the teaching field. So thank you for being here. Thank you. Let me acknowledge that as we move forward today. I want to give you just a quick, brief glimpse, because we're talking today a little bit about teaching the truth and teaching history. You cannot really talk about the history of Washington, D.C. without talking about the history of Howard University. And more specifically, you can't really talk about equal rights in education without talking about the legacy that Howard University has had here in Washington, D.C., regionally, nationally, and internationally. I want to give you a real quick, tiny glimpse based on time, but if there's more that you want to know, definitely jump onto Howard University's website and learn more about our legacy. In 1866, a group of Congregationalists in Washington, D.C. recognized that after slavery ended, there was a need to educate the newly freed Blacks, and they proposed to establish an institution for education of teachers and preachers. And after receiving funding, Howard University was chartered on March 2nd, 1867. Howard University was named after General Oliver Otis Howard, who was the head of the Freedmen's Bureau. Although Howard University has always been open to all students of all races, creeds, and colors, Howard was specifically founded and designed with a special commitment and obligation for the education, for the advanced education of Black students. Howard has a massive legacy of individuals that have ties and connections to Washington, D.C., to the region, and to the nation. This morning, I want to really give you a quick glimpse into just a few. The first person that I want to mention today is Frederick Douglass. All of us know about the life and legacy of Frederick Douglass and the fact that he is a noted orator and he was an abolitionist. Frederick Douglass many of you may not know that he was actually serving on the Board of Trustees at Howard University. He served on the Board of Trustees from 1871 to 1895. Sorry, I'm giving him a longer life than he had. If you have never been to visit his house in Cedar Hills in Washington, you should definitely go take a visit there because it is amazing experience. Not only did Frederick Douglass champion Blacks and the work and the legacy and equality for Blacks, but he also spoke out against and was a supporter for women's rights. We know that he attended the first Women's Rights Convention in Seneca Falls in New York in 1848. Frederick Douglass is a champion for educating all. The next individual that I want to briefly mention that has ties to both Howard University and Washington, D.C. was Dr. Ernest E. Just. Dr. Just was a renowned cell biologist who served on the faculty of Howard University from 1907 to 1940. Dr. Just initiated the master's degree program in zoology at Howard University, and he served as faculty advisor to the founding chapter of Omega Psi Phi fraternity. More importantly, he pioneered many areas on the physiology of development, including fertilization, cell division, dehydration in living cells, and ultraviolet carcinogenic radiation effects on cells. His work as a Black scientist dispelled the many myths that exist surrounding Blacks and education. We thank him for his service and for his work. Finally, I want to mention Toni Morrison. Toni Morrison has strong connections to both Washington, D.C. and Howard University. Toni was a student at Howard University from 1949 to 1953. And she fought in Washington, D.C. to end systemic racism. She taught literature at Howard from 1957 to 1964. She was the winner of the Pulitzer Prize for Fiction in 1988 and a Nobel Prize for Literature in 1993. Toni Morrison was a recipient at the Presidential Medal for Freedom, the country's highest honor. She worked the her works, were the Center for Black Voice and Black Stories. She challenged all of us to recognize the importance to hear Black stories and how meaningful those stories are to the history, not just of Blacks, but of the United States. The three individuals that I mentioned have a strong tie to Howard University, have a strong tie to Washington, D.C., and they have a stronger tie to what we champion as the Black Lives Matter movement as it relates to education. As you move through your day here today, I want you to think about not only their works, but how the work that you're doing is part of the history of what will be known in the future of the work of DC. I want you to also remember that sometimes this work is hard. Sometimes this work can be hard work, and I want you to be mindful of that, especially in the hard times that we're in right now. I want you to remember to take care of yourself. I want you also to surround yourself with a network of individuals that are like-minded and that are in this fight and doing this work. That way you can support each other. Thank you so much. I am looking forward to being actively or participating in the workshops today, and definitely enjoy yourself. And if you want to know more about the history of Howard, check out our website and learn more. I look forward to hearing from all of you. Enjoy your day.
The time is now 10:15. You can follow the participant guide for Zoom links to the individual sessions beginning promptly at 10:20. Prepare to complete an evaluation for PD credits and Black Lives Matter at School books. If you're going to be with us only through the first session, make sure you complete the evaluation before you leave that one. But if you are staying through to the second session of workshops, you can complete, you can wait until the end of that second session to do the evaluation for the entire morning. Thanks to everyone for the opening remarks and for your energy. And I can dismiss you all now for going to your first workshops. Thank you.